My name is Rhapsody, and welcome back to Disco Elysium. Alright, Titus, what have you got to say?
The clowns are still hanging around. What is it now?
So I talked to Claudia about the tape. And he tenses immediately. Chest tightens, jaw sets, ready for another blow. And nothing. She stands by what she said. That fucking fucker! He stares at his beer for 2 seconds intently, then turns to you. You're the worst cops in all of Revachol. I gave you gold on that tape. That fucker wasn't aimed at you. It was at her. Oh, gold. It was just locker room talk. Ugh. Ugh. It was dark stuff, but it didn't prove anything and didn't change her mind. Yeah, it was bad. Honestly, I expected it to have more effect. She pretty much laughed it off, Titus. Fuckity fucker! He shakes his head in disbelief. And what'd she say then? That it's fine? People are supposed to be like that? It did not come as a surprise to her, and she definitely wasn't scared. Yes, in fact, the lieutenant looks at you, then him. I think she thought it was a little funny. Funny? Titus mumbles, his lips barely moving. No good goddamn psycho whore. Alright! He slams his giant fist on the doorframe. All fucking righty then! I guess it's good then! That fucking... Please, try to control yourself in the presence of visitors, Titus. Her voice is a bit softer than earlier. Titus rubs his chin with his palm as if trying to grind it smooth. This is just perfect. Just fucking perfect. Any thoughts on this, lawman? You don't have to say everything out loud. Just mix and match. Maybe she isn't who you thought she was. Nah, I know her. He looks upstairs, distracted. She's just a girl in over her head. She's not some helpless girl. She handled the mercenary well enough. Handled him? He balks. She got into some stupid shit with that guy. Shit we had to take care of. Yes, yes. We all heard about it and the effect still stands. You were more disturbed by the tape than her. Be straight with me, Titus. What really happened? I already told you. He put his giant face in his hands and sighs. We fucking hanged him. There's less gusto in his voice now. His men, too, are growing increasingly silent. They're confused. This is going over their heads. This is growing over their heads, rather. Come on, Titus. It's been a long day. I'm a little tired of running back and forth between you. I can see you're tired, too. Why don't you just... You know what? He gets closer. I am tired. I'm tired of you and the whore upstairs. Next time you see her, tell her Titus said, fuck off! He throws his beer can down. That lying scamp. We're done. This is over, you understand? Your little investigation is over. Yeah. There's a silence in the room. Elaine tries to start saying something, then thinks it best not to. On the floor, beer drips out of the can into a small puddle. No one does anything about it. What is this quiet funeral shit? What we need is some beers in us. He looks around. Bartender, 20 beers for the Dock Workers Union. Why don't we make it 40, huh? The man shouts from behind the counter. Why don't we make it 100 beers? You're not loud enough. 100? Wait, hang on. Glenn was kind of like southern, right? 100 beers. Now we're talking. Glenn livens up. Hoppity hop over, cafeteria manager. Rhetoric. I can even try and re-roll that and level up, and I have a level in the tank. I just found a bullet in the hanged man's head. A bullet, you say? He pats the back of his head. That's mighty curious. Indeed, mighty. How did it get there? The lieutenant is fixed on Titus. He gives you an indulgent look. Well, there are so many bullets in the world and so many heads. He sighs deeply. I guess it's only logical at one point some of them had to end up in one of them heads. It's bound to happen again, you know? He taps on his right temple. Just statistically speaking, of course. Sire, it might be most dramatic if you were to produce the bullet and dangle it before their very eyes. I'm gonna ask you again. Why was this show them the bullet in the victim's head? Wow. The little man leans in close to inspect the leaden blossom. He's got in a real evidence bag and all. Why don't you go home and log it into evidence? These men have already told you what happened. Did you guys shoot him? Shit. He throws his head back. I probably did shoot him. I was drunk last night. You guys know me when I'm drunk. Yeah, Glenn likes to shoot his guys when he's drunk. The little guy looks you in the eye. Better hope he stays sober. No, he meant before he was hanged. Did you shoot him before you hanged him? Before? After? During? She spreads her arms. This is getting ridiculous. They told you what happened. Stop wasting your time. I think the hanging was a cover-up for the shooting. You know what I think? He raises a finger. I think he was shot in the head as a kid, and his brain grew around the bullet. Around the... Hang on, I forgot Alan's voice. I'm doing too many voices at the same time. Around the bullet, man. Elaine pinches the root of his nose. That's a good one. All the goofing around is to avoid lying. It's a technique. They're only pretending to enjoy this. Beneath the act, they don't like you knowing this. Don't worry, we'll figure it out sooner or later. Never been worried in my life, lawman. He crosses his hairy arms, having forgotten his beer for a moment. It's not like you blew it wide open, but there's a little crack in there somewhere. So I'm getting increases on this, on that over time. How much can I increase my rhetoric by? Like, I've decreased it by my hat, but I'm pretty sure I have something that can increase it in here. Rhetoric. I do not. Well, pop on the Samaran conical hat and talk to Elizabeth.
I've got nothing to say to you. Why are you wasting your time?
Are you Lizzie? Elizabeth? Miss Beaufort? I suggest not wasting time on trivial pleasantries and focusing on why you are here. Tata Sadi. She points to the tall man by the table. Even though she has excellent control over herself, something moves behind her eyes and the way she stands in her face. You caught her off guard. Push her some more. Easy Leo told me about you. He likes you a lot. You're not here to chat up the legal counsel. You're here to question these men. You set the pace and topic of questions here. Conversation here. Establish that. A man like Easy Leo could have said anything. Do not be restrained, sire. He said Mr. Everard sent you to law school. I'll represent the union and the men around here. She points to the crew around the table. Don't make this personal. A very minor victory. Hardy, not yet. No, hang on. He said you're in debt to Mr. Clare. I'll represent the union and the men around here. She points to the crew around the table. Don't make this personal. Very minor victory. Said you're a union fixer. You fix things. I am legal counsel. Don't make this personal, she intones. Well, I guess I'm gonna say the final one, the ridiculous one. He said you're Mr. Everard's do esuka, death machine. He said no such thing. She accidentally raises her voice. This isn't about me. Calm down, everyone. Let's stay professional. Dirty tactics, officer. Maybe we'll talk later. So currently my rhetoric is as high as it will ever be. Let's roll. Got him. Convince Titus that he's being manipulated? You should know by now. Titus Hardy will never falter. But you know someone who might. One of his boys will. Fat Angus. The powerful guy. Mr. all muscle. The time has come. Put him in the pressure cooker. Just remember, it's about more than Clausia. It's about these men in Martinez, their district, their responsibility. That's it then. Case closed. Look around. We going home, Kim? Huh? The lieutenant raises his brow. He'll get it. Go on. Write it down, Kin. In Martinez, they just kill you because they don't like you. Got it. He takes out his notebook. Kill you because they don't like you. All because... Okay, so the guy was from Aranya. But he was also Occidental, right? So, like, I don't think the people of Revachol would consider him a foreigner. And I definitely don't think Fat Angus would. So, let's not say that one. I think Fat Angus is soft. Like, hearted, soft-hearted. So, like, they like killing. I don't think he will like being marked up as someone who likes killing. Yeah, we liked it. It was fun, wasn't it, guys? He looked around. We had a great time. It wasn't for your fucking entertainment, Dennis. He gets a hold of himself. They'll kill you. He jots down, because they think it's funny. They'll hang you, like in the Dark Age, make a display of your corpse. They'll hang you, shoot you, whatever. They can't even remember. They'll hang you, like in the Dark Ages, make a display of your corpse. It wasn't... Hang on. What's his voice? I've never given him a voice. It wasn't that. It was... The fat man says with a wheeze. We couldn't get him down, okay? That's it. That's the weak one. You flushed him out. Now go in for the... Theo, I don't even know if Theo has a voice. Officer, you will be next if you don't shut up. The old man reaches for his belt, but his voice is strangely calm. He's onto you. He knows what you're trying to do. Steel yourself. Push on. Well, Volition is telling me to ignore Theo. I'll agree. Or what? Turn to Angus. You gonna kill me like you killed him? For no fucking reason? We didn't kill him. We didn't even hang him. He was dead when... He takes a breathe, wheezing. Shut up, Angus! He was dead before you hanged him. Fatty. The little guy hits Angus on the back of the head, a loud slap. Say one more thing to the cops and oh. Dennis! Titus roars. Stand down or I'll beat your head in. Theo, he points to the old man. Take your hand off the belt. This isn't 31. I got this under control. Does he? His closed fist is shaking. It's you who's in control. Let them have their moment. The room falls quiet. So quiet you can hear Angus wheeze. Angie, where's your goddamn inhaler? You sound like you're dying. I left at home. I can't get it. I'm too fucked. He grabs his chest. I'm sorry. Why are you so fucking fat, Angus? Lizzie snaps at him. Oh, God. Now it's all pointless because of you. You wasted my time. I told you, Titus. She turns to him. He turns to him. What? He turns to him? It's got to be she turns to him in a second. I told you to just give it up. Lizzie, he turns to Victor. Your help is no longer needed here. Go tell Everett. Fine, I'll tell him. After a long walk along the coast, she walks off without looking back. You're in. He's all yours. So you didn't kill him. He was already dead. Titus nods. You hanged the cops to cover up the real cause of the death. A bullet in his head. Another nod. Why? Because the girls asked it to. They were in some shit. Girls plural? There's another girl? Two of them? Take note of this. They'll probably say more about it later. Did she kill him? Cop, I have no idea. The girl says she didn't. He doesn't think she did. Or at least hopes she didn't. What happened Sunday night? Clausia came down. He pointed to the stairs. She seemed really out of it. Drugged up. Even more than usual. Bug-eyed and gurning, you know? Not in the fun way. Looked like she'd redosed after something went down. I've seen that look before. She was scared.
I knew had someone had died.
How'd you know?
I've done this job for 10 years. I've seen it before. It's the politician in a motel room with the dead hooker scenario, only reverse.
Good analogy, boss. The rat-faced man snickers.
You don't get to talk yet, Shanky. He points at him. You're still on the bench. You keep tucking it easy too, Angus.
He turns back to you. What happened then?
We went upstairs. Sure as day, the merc was dead. There was a fucking bullet hole through the window. Fucking.
He scratches his chin.
Dirty sheets and bottles everywhere.
He means they'd been fucking?
Tibbs patched up the window. The corpse, we hangs.
Who's Tibbs? The 8th Hardy?
Nah, he's my brother. He's in the window replacement business.
Right now, he's grateful he hasn't gotten his brother into this mess. So who killed Merc then? Any leads?
Not yet, just some ideas. She says the shot came from outside, behind the window somewhere. So that's a clue.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking someone's past caught up with them. Either hers or his.
Hers, you mean?
She's got one of those checkered pasts. The shot could have missed. Could have been meant for her.
I like that. The young man nods. Been thinking the same thing myself. And you had ideas about his past too?
I do. One of those mercenary buddies could have done it. They got guns, training, years of bad blood probably. Or it could have been someone from Krennel.
He pauses to think.
Tell you what I'd do. Check out the coast for vantage points. Maybe consult with a ballistic buddy of mine. That's what I'd do. If I wasn't busy doing all this clown dance with you.
He's calm now. Threw all that turmoil away and became himself again. So Classy didn't kill him. Why the cover up?
You may have noticed our girl's gotten in some shit of her own.
I didn't notice. What kind of shit are we talking about?
The can't show up on the police radar kind. There are people after her. From the old world. Where she came from.
These people, who are they?
They're powerful.
He looks out the window.
Connected to the moral intern. She's clearly afraid for her life. Says if she showed up in your system, she'd be ghosted away.
That's all he knows. That's all she's told him.
And why would you help someone like that? By taking on a murder?
Why would I?
He shrugs.
I guess we abide all sorts of runaways and losers here. It's a Martinet thing.
Whose idea was it to hang him anyway? Hers?
In a manner of speaking.
Remember the 2 girls? He may be talking about the other one. Earlier, you said the girls asked for your help. Was this the other girl?
That's right.
He blinks.
It was her idea to hang him. I liked it. For political reasons. Sent a good message.
It's her, isn't it? The missing 8th Hardy. That's the other girl. The big guy turns to Glenn, who's about to say something. The blonde shuts his mouth before a word escapes.
Say it again. Tidy turns to you. All the Hardy boys are right here, cop. That woman is just affiliated with the Hardy boys. You don't even know her anyway.
You know it's okay for there to be a Hardy girl, Titus. His face sets like concrete. He shakes his head solemnly.
We're Hardy boys, and we like it.
Sure, but can you tell me anything about the affiliate? Name, current location?
Nope. You're not getting it. It's Classy you want to talk to.
I'm sorry I made you guys fight.
Me too.
Whisper to Kim.
We did it.
The lieutenant gives you a smile that only you can see. Thank you for this, Titus. I'll go talk to her for the last time.
You do that.
He grabs his beer and swirls it in his hand, and then thinks of something.
Hey, cop. Before you go, he
looks up.
Classy came to Martinet to hide. Many of us did. This is where you wash up when there's nowhere left to go. The Union takes you in. Now she's refused that protection, but...
But you'd still prefer if we didn't take her away.
That's right. If we didn't take care of people who end up here, this place would just be a couple of ruins and some cargo containers.
We'll take that into account.
The lieutenant slides his notebook into his coat pocket. He turns to leave. Still can't see anything out of that window. And still would very much like to. Hey, Klassia! Remember earlier on in this episode, and then around the start? Oh, no, start. Last episode where I said, Classia's not been lying to us, so I'll talk to Classia first. Well, never mind all that noise and jazz. Classia has been lying to us the whole time. Of course there was a shot through the window. It's the only way that it makes sense. That said, how do you shoot through the window into someone's mouth, into the like palate of their mouth, up towards their brain? What angle is that? This is the Magic Bullet 2.0.
It's always good to see you.
She cracks a weary smile, leaning back against the railing. Something in her demeanor has changed. She's tired, consigned to her fate, to being here with you and what's to come. The Hardy boys told us what really happened. I understand. She puts her coffee mug on the table. Just like that, no resistance, her shoulders are slouched, her feet long and straight. You sent us on a runaround. I know. She looks down for a moment, hiding her eyes behind her bangs. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. For all this, for wasting your time. This is good. Clear the air first between you two, then move on to the questions. Is it? Something's off here. Shh. I can't hear what she's saying.
Why did you waste our time then?
Because of the Hardies. I couldn't just dispense with them. They were only trying to help me. She looks at her feet. And the shit I'd gotten into. That's not a good enough reason. You're right. There's more. More? You answer the coalition government and, by extension, the moral intern. She reaches for a new cigarette, briefly glancing across the shoulder to the sea, as she's done time and time again. She's looking to see if ships are coming. She's looking to see if she's being collected. Is that what you're looking for over your shoulder? You're afraid of the moral intern? She nods. You share a database with him. You send people to their courts. She lights the cigarette. What's going on? What did you do? Just business. But bad business for some people in moral intern. If I show up in their records, officer, they will find me. They will.
What happens if they do?
They'll kill me, sir. If you file my name, take me for questioning, enter me into the moral intern mill. There's a wince and a pained little smile. Well, then I'm fucked. For nothing. This murder didn't even have anything to do with me. Nothing to do with her? You'll be the judge of that. And that's challenging success. What did you do to have these people after you? It's not nice, but it's not illegal. Not here in Revachol. Or even in Orania.
What exactly did you do?
Industrial espionage. I joined a business collective with my intention of betraying them. I did my job well enough to be asked to do it again. With a bigger company. The kind you really, really don't fuck with. I took their ledgers. 2 decades worth of accounting. He taps his notebook.
I need the names of the companies involved and who hired you.
The job was Loosedwin County Savings Bank. They sound small, but they're part of the Loosecap conglomerate. That was the second job. The first was some printer company. You probably don't know them. She really destroyed them. She still feels it. As to who hired me for the job, I don't know. But they're looking for me too, along with Loosecap and their friends in the MI. She breathes out heavily. Once you're done in the competitive intelligence circuit, you don't have allies. You're radioactive. I don't know anything about the savings bank group. But I do know that having their ledgers taken has resulted in them wanting the death of a woman. Serves them right. When I'm king, this savings bank will be the first against the wall. This was not a joke. Real people lost their jobs. Not just in the C-suite, either. Good people. What I did to get to accounting, she shakes her head at the thought. A lot of people got hurt, she concludes. But that's just more of my shit you don't have to deal with. You're solving a murder. That can wait. Look into her eyes. There's more. What did you do? She looks down, then into your eyes. One of them killed themselves. Because of me. That's, shake your head, not easy to deal with. How do you deal with anything? It's just, she looks at you with pleading eyes. How do you do it? I don't either. There you have it. She almost already devoured the cigarette she's just lit and looks at it sadly. The ways of the warrior. So what did you do that resulted in someone killing themselves? Because, like, the prosecution of Enron caused one of the executives to just drive his car out on a lonely street and shoot himself in the head. Does the prosecuting of Enron, like, does the prosecution hold hold responsibility for that? Like, what level of it? What is the interaction here, right? How many degrees removed are you? Is it as a result of your actions, or was your action effectively, encouraging it? I want to know more about her past interactions with this company. I suspect that it was like she struck up a romantic relationship, as spies often do. Or rather, as at least the common understanding in media of spies often do. And the betrayal and heartbreak was part of it. In which case, like, then it's more muddy than, like, prosecution in the Enron case, that kind of thing. Not to say that she's to be held responsible at that point, but also, without context, not to say she's not. I don't know. Can anyone be held responsible for another person's suicide? I have no clue. You can certainly create the conditions that inspire it. I wonder if someone could be charged for manslaughter for There's almost certainly legal precedent on that somewhere. What happened here the night he died? We were there. She points to the window, the silhouette of the bed is still visible. Together. In bed, I mean. Tell me exactly what happened. Okay? She takes a deep breath. He was in a kneeling position. He just entered me. I was on my back, looking at him. I heard the window shatter behind me, and I turned to look. There was a hole in the glass. I turned to him. She breathes out a moment's silence. His eyes were looking through me, and his mouth was open. Dumb. Her chest rises and falls with each word. She keeps herself together and says it. I knew he was dead before he fell down on top of me. You were right. He did enjoy the moment of his death. Oh, what? How? So we actually can intuit things from those. So my feeling was right earlier. He was enjoying the moment of his death. Yeah, but how did you know that? You asked her before if he enjoyed it. She avoided it. How did I not discern it was a lie? We just had a hunch. Detectives have those sometimes. Then what happened? He was heavy. I pushed him off and he fell to the floor. There. She points through the window. He only had his boots on. I bit the pillow. Not to scream. Then ran downstairs. There's a long pause. She just stands there, her arms at her sides. Then she continues. I waited for the second shot to come. For me. I thought there would be one. It never came. She's forgotten about her cigarette. The butt has burned right down to the fingernails. Shake your head. That's a motherfucker. I'm sorry this happened to you. So am I. She looks down. Her cigarette has singed her fingers. She throws it away and immediately proceeds to light another one. What time was this? When did it happen? It could help us if you would be as precise as possible. 11:30 to 12:15. I don't know the exact time. Around midnight.
That's okay.
He makes a note. Were you inebriated? Not as much as usual. He'd done a line. Plus other things. I was drinking. Wait, Titus says she was gurning her jaw off, much more than usual. Titus said you looked pretty high. Oh, yeah. She tilts her head. I did one of his lines, just to clear my head.
Did you hear or see the shooter in the course of this?
No. What did you do then?
Nothing. I was trapped. I was stuck in my room downstairs. I got some clothes and crawled back up, drew the blinds. Blood was coming out of his mouth. Not a lot. Just a little. He was still there on the floor, slouched. I couldn't be there with him anymore, so I ran down of my room, into the hallway. Down the stairs, I knew there would be people there.
Run, woman! Run past them and out into the street where it's dark and people move to the lorries in the intersection as far as you can. Say nothing. She pulls on the cigarette, looking up at the sky. Her hair ripples in the breeze as she stands there, silent. What happened after you ran downstairs? Sylvie was attending the bar. She looks down. A lot of people were there. The Hardies were at the table in front of the stage, I think. I think the Union box was full. So if the Hardies were in the table at the front of the stage and the Union box was full, there was another party? There was another group? That's not necessarily indicative of anything. Maybe there are just more people in this environment than have necessarily already shown up for us. In fact, there have to be. It's just weird. Maybe it'll come back later.
Ruby was there too. They were having such a good time.
She pauses.
I sat down and they all welcomed me. I didn't even have to say anything. Ruby knew something was wrong.
Ruby? Before we continue, who's Ruby? Ruby, you know? Leader?
The leader? Of what?
The Hardy Boys? She says as if it's self-evident. I thought Hardy was the leader of the Hardy Boys. Well, nominally, yeah. Ruby's the one they go to when things happen. Like, things they need taken care of. She's the organizer. This Ruby, in her phrasing, is entrusted with great power. She trusts her. So do the others. Okay, let's go on. What then?
Well, Ruby said, let's talk upstairs. I showed her the room. I've known these people since December. They know my situation. That I can't leave a paper trail. Ruby was the first one I told. She said she'd take care of it. It's what she does, you know? Take care of things. I helped to get the body to the bathroom. We used a belt to tie him up, pull him under the shower to keep him upright.
To mislead you, they were tampering with the body.
To produce lividity matching a hanging. Yeah. We completely missed the tampering. Looks like you got there in time. What was this, 20 minutes after death?
Oops. About 20, yeah. Ruby explained that it would make the blood... You know what it does. She looks at the ground, then raises her light brown eyes to meet yours. Then what did you do?
Ruby and I went outside to talk to Hardy and the boys. I was just...
Ruby, rather, went outside to do it.
I was just looking at Lely in the bathroom. I had to put his clothes back on. His armor, too. It was tough, but I've seen him take it off and put it on many times. It took Ruby maybe a half an hour to come back with Titus. I'd gotten him ready by then. They carried him out. I knew what they were going to do. Make it look like a hanging. Ruby said they would.
What did you do while they were hanging him?
Ruby said to wait here. She also said I wouldn't see her for a while. That we should lay low or something.
This Ruby, where is this Ruby?
I don't know. I haven't seen her since. We will need to take the question to the Hardy boys.
When it happened, did you hear a gunshot?
When he was shot?
She thinks.
I may have. I don't know. I couldn't hear anything over the glass exploding.
The gunshot wasn't that loud? This is something to keep in mind when assessing the distance of the shot. So, you'd assume the shot might have been closer as a result of the accuracy of it, and you'd assume that it might have been further away as a result of the sound. So, it could have been a silencer closer, could have been a non-silent shot from a skilled sniper far away. I'm not going to say, did you kill Lily? Could the people after you have killed him? I mean, they would have killed her as well, right? That's the first thing that went through my head when I heard the glass break. And I thought they'd found me. They've killed him to punish me. All last week, I tried not to talk to anyone or be seen with anyone. She looks at a cigarette, so they wouldn't be hurt. I've come to understand, however, this is paranoia. What happened didn't have anything to do with me. I'm going to say it probably didn't because I assume she would have been killed as well. But also because I don't think it actually helps my situation to make her more remorseful. Or, I don't know anything anymore. All I do is wait here. She looks at the table. We can't go after Lockskap. Not yet. There are other sender leads. I don't ask you to, Lieutenant. If there's one thing I know, it's that you'll get nothing from there. Why did you call the cops if you're hiding? Because I'm an idiot. The answer comes fast. Which is an indicator of truth. I don't think so. Why did you do it? You have to understand, the people around here, no one was making the call, and he kept rotting. They picked his clothes off. That little fucker threw stones at him. Her jaw is clenched. Her throat moves. It takes all her strength not to cave in and sob once, just one time. He kept throwing stones at him for 3 days. I could hear the thud, thud. She shakes her head. So I called you. I hope with all my heart it's not the last thing I do in Revachol. She definitely called the cops. That was task complete. It could have not been a lie. That is impossible. But was it task complete? Well, I mean, we don't have a task that is about that, so I guess. I'll ask another about the tattoo's possible meaning. I mean, I already asked, so we'll see. When was the window change? Point to it. Last week. Angus and Titus's brother, I think he's called Tibbs, took care of it. She takes a drag. You can have another look at the window. Might be able to reconstruct the scene. It's right there. In her bedroom? Inside? Yes. You see the glass sparkling out the corner of your eye. I think we're done here for now. She nods silently. She doesn't even smoke, just picks up the cold coffee and holds it in her hands. The lieutenant glances at you and then back at the door. He's thinking, are we done here? Or maybe you should take her to the station? For safekeeping. She lied to you. And she's a flight risk. No, that won't be necessary. Just leave her alone. She's been through enough. She doesn't need this police brutality. Multi-face. I'm beginning to doubt your judgment. Are you sure you're not sleeping on the post? You have to wake this one up with force if you want to continue pushing her. The love that did him in. I mean, look, if we can actually rely on the kind of like abstract, ethereal information we keep getting, maybe we should try something like that. We'll return to this later. I'm going to quickly pop on all of my dramatic clothing. I think I might have one more. No, that's negative to drama. Yeah. Mesh top. As you look back, you think, so love did do him in after all. I was right. If it weren't for her, he would not have been shot. The shot would have not connected with his soft plate. Turn to Glacia. Looks like love did him in after all. She's silent, holding onto a coffee mug. No vapor rises from it. It's cold. Remember this silence. This lady is dangerous. People suffer around her. I'm going to say nothing and let her answer. Yeah. She finally breaks the silence. I'd like to think he didn't love me. Or that it was chemically induced and not real. Why? Easier that way. She takes a sip. Was it? Real? I don't know. She looks down at the yard, then back into her coffee. Real as anything, says the empathy.
Hello, officer. What brings you up here again?
In God's name, wake up! Who? What? Dear God, you've been lied to! She could have killed her lover and lied to everyone! She's not candid at all. She's smoking mirrors and will-o-wisps. I don't want to say that. She probably didn't give you her real name either. Why would she? Arrest her immediately before she further entangles you in this web of lies. No. Let's change the subject for the time being. So I now just have the ability to ask, well, I mean, is that going to tell me anything
Hello,
else?
Officer. What brings you up here again?
Let's get back to those lies you told. Lies. She repeats when trails off. It's unclear what she intended to say. We demand her anxiety. We demand her fears. What that was doing there. Definitely don't like that. If we put her into the system, like, she disappears. She disappears like cotton candy in a raccoon's hand that's holding it into the stream to try and wet it. For the moment, though, my name is Rhapsody. The name of the game is being Disco Elysium. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves. There's a playlist in the description down below with all my contents of the game, past, present, and future, and hopefully we'll see you next time.